Hi everyone, I'm Kayla
and I'm Loran,
and this is Stitching with My Littlie, Flosstube number 46. Today is Thursday the 3rd of July, so we're about the 2-week mark, just a little bit over from the last time we saw you. If you are new to our channel, welcome. This is a channel about cross stitch. Not really any other crafts. We are primarily all about cross stitch here. Yeah. So if that's what you're looking for, we hope you find something you like and consider subscribing to our channel. If you are a returning viewer, thank you very much for coming back to us. And yeah, we really do appreciate all of you. Thank you. So we are going to get on with it today. We've got a bit to show you. Mainly whips. We've got a couple of new starts each, but mainly whips. We've got no finishes or fully finishes. So yeah, we're gonna get going with it. I think I'm gonna say it again, try and get this under an hour and 20 minutes today. Let's see, that is the goal. Okay, so like I said, we've got no FFOs, fully finished objects this time. And no finishes. I've got no finishes. No, we've got no finishes either. So new starts we're gonna go with. My new starts are, both of mine actually, are what was pulled up on my spinning wheel last week. So although they weren't technically whips, they were kitted up and in my whip pile because they were part of like a set, if you like, that I'm just continuing with, but they weren't started, but they are now started.
And mine was, one of them was a plan, and then the other one just decided that I wanted to do it. So yeah.
So yeah, do you want to do one of yours first then?
Yeah.
You go with yours first.
So this one, if you were following us for a while, I did the Peter Rabbit one of this, but it's a little kit, and this is Jemima Puddle Duck. And this was just from Sainsbury's, wasn't it? A supermarket.
It was,
here.
although I have seen recently, although I didn't know they did them, but when Hobbycraft have their like sales on, they had one and they had quite a few of those. The Hedgehog, Mrs. Tiggy ring was in there.
The kitten, Tom.
I'm not sure. They had a few of them and they were all on sale, but when I went to go on them, when I actually realised that they were there, they weren't there anymore. So I don't know if they're exclusive to but Sainsbury's bought these out at Easter. They're right at Easter time, but they only have Peter Rabbit and Jemima. So we've both got, but I didn't know that was even on your radar to start.
Well, I just thought Peter Rabbit could do with a little friend, so I decided to do this. And they really don't take that long, and they're already kitted up because I'm just using everything in the kit. So this is my little start. So I think I did her cardie or coat or
it's like a shawl type thing, isn't it? Because it's like,
it's quite like some good colours. It's like pinks, and then it's got some like a blue and turquoise kind of colour. So yeah, this one's quite easy to
has this one got on. Like half stitches?
I think so, in her eye, but I think that's it.
It might have some going up her
maybe
chest bit.
So the back stitch on Peter Rabbit did stress me out a little bit, but this one, like,
but you did do it.
Yeah. But it's just in a white 14 count fabric, because I feel like that's what mostly comes with pretty much every kit. So yeah, and the chart is like really big, so it's easy to follow. Basically. So
you don't mind working from paper patterns either, do you? So. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to show you is, like I said, one that I pulled out on my whip wheel. I got waylaid with something else. Because what I was going to actually say to you was that it is it's a freebie chart, this design, from Brooks Books Publishing. Unfortunately, the designer of these charts, Brooke Nolan, sadly passed away. I'm not sure if it was the end of last year or beginning of this year. So although these are freebie charts, I'm not sure whether you can still get them. I know that the actual website is not available at the moment. I think her family are trying to do something about bringing those designs back for people to purchase. So I'm not actually sure if these are, but these, because they're freebie charts, whether they're still on as freebies, sadly. But these are the House for All Seasons, they're called, and they look like, so I've done 2 of them so far, but this one is the winter house, which I'm going to start. So they look like similar to this. You've probably seen, I've done the autumn house and the summer house, so the only one I've got left to do now is spring, but I thought I would just start the winter one this time. So you can, because the way that the trees are on these charts, you can actually have them all in a row. So you could have there is actually a picture somewhere that I have that has them done all in a row. So the fences sort of and the trees will join so that you get that line from spring, summer, autumn and winter. But I decided I wasn't going to do mine like that because I just want to bring them out seasonally. So yeah, this is Winter House by Brooks Books Publishing. You may be able to go, I was going to have a look before I actually came on the channel and see whether or not you could still get the freebie charts, but it's worth going to have a look on that. If I find out before I edit it, I might put it across the bottom for you, because she hasn't, or she did have an awful lot of freebie charts. She had some that were advent calendar animals, which have been very popular, which I've also got. Those I haven't started them, have got them.
I think there was Grinch as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, we've got quite a few of them. So before I upload this video, I'll try and go back and have a look and see if you're able to access the freebie charts at least. I know the other ones you can't at the moment. But to say all that, this is on 14 count Ada, which is ivory, which is what all of them have been done on. And I'm using the called for DMC threads. So this is what I have did. So this is my new start. I'm actually quite pleased with the amount of progress I got done on it, to be honest. So this is from one night's stitching session. It does amaze me sometimes, some nights, and I only stitch similar hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours most nights, how I can get something like this, and then the other nights I look at some projects and think, I haven't even put hardly anything in. I'm not sure how that's even possible, but but yeah, so I'm quite pleased with that one for a new start. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to come out again for a while, but it's there. My needle minder is from Loran at Stitch Bunny shop. I got that at a retreat that we went to. So
yeah.
So that is my first new start, which was technically in my whip pile, but it is now a whip. Okay.
So my last one was, this was the planned one. So it is Dog Tear by Erin Elizabeth Designs. So that's what it will look like when it's done.
We've actually got another one of our viewers who's doing the dog tier.
So I had to start with, well, because we start in the middle, so the starting point was white anyway, but we had to order another thread, didn't we, because the grey that's always in the tiers we ran out. So
yeah, well, it seems to be one or the other. You have a certain one and then I have a different one in my tier section.
So this was my progress. The white is showing better in real life, but it's 14 count pale green Ada.
Yeah, so it is a bit greener than what it's showing up on camera.
and I'm using all the called for DMC threads, but in CXC. And I only did like half of this row because this was on Monday night in the UK and it was really hot where we are. It was like 30 something degrees, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've had some,
which is hot for the UK.
Warm weather.
Yeah.
So
I just got a little bit too hot and I was like, I'll just stop there. Because...
yeah, the fact that we've even got any stitches in, I think, is a bit of a miracle because it has been,
really
and when
hot.
it's not, like in the daytime, it's been really hot, but it's also been really muggy and humid as well, which is what we tend to have in the UK. To be fair, you never just get
a nice
warm
sunny
weather.
day.
It's like really stifling that you can't breathe. If you go outside, you can't breathe because every time you try to breathe, you just can't. And unfortunately, over here in the UK, air conditioning isn't something that is a standard thing in the UK.
Yeah.
We just, so we've all got little fans, but as you can imagine, it's not really doing much when it's
just
hot air. so it's been, and I don't do very well with being outside in hot weather conditions either. So we've done quite a bit considering the amount of
but that is heat. This is my second tier now, and it's part of our SAL 3 Cheers for Trade tier SAL, so that's on Instagram, isn't it?
It is. But like I said, if you are joining in that SAL, I will put it here. Now, I have mentioned it before because of Instagram and the way that it's is with hashtags. If you are doing one of the trade, if or any of our SALs actually, because we've got a gnomes one, which is gnomes everywhere SAL. If you can tag one or the other of our Instagram accounts or both, then we will be able to see it then, rather than when I remember I actually scroll through and then I'm like, oh god, I didn't know that this was, and it was quite a while back. So yeah, before I forget to say that. So my second new start is a Prairie Schooler chart, which is a Prairie Schooler Santa, which this is a working copy. So these, I have done the top 2 already. This one I did for, I did 4 of these as pillows for the years that my children were born, and this was one of the years. So this one is 2004 Santa, and this one was my eldest daughter's birth year. So that one was done then. So now I've done all 4 of those, which I did on 14 count Ada and made them into pillows. I'm now going through the other ones on a 16 count Ada, so making them slightly smaller for ornaments. So I'm not like, I've got to say, this one isn't one of my favourites, which is the one I'm now doing. This one is from 1995. But because I'd done the others, I just decided that I'd do this one next. And then I've got a couple of other ones, I think, from a couple of years ago that I've got the Arctic, I think it's Arctic animals, Arctic lights or something like that. And another one, but I decided I was going to do this one first. So this one is one that I started on a very warm evening. So again, you're not going to see that much progress, but I'm a centre starter. So basically you have the world, and it is on, like I said, a 16 count Ada, which is tea coffee dyed by myself, and I'm using the called for DMC threads in this one. So that is where I'm at. So I've done the world and the hands, so Santa's hands, and obviously the white is the fur from around the edge of his jacket. So that is where I've got. So I'm quite pleased with that. I mean, I think I could have possibly done more, but a start is a start, and
you have a world.
I'm okay with that. So that is where I got up to now. So that is our new starts for the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
And that is 2 of the things that I worked on off my whip wheel.
Whip wheel.
My whip wheel. Okay, so we'll move on to whips, which funnily enough is our works in progress. So I have 6 to show you, but I think you've got more than me this time, haven't you?
I've got 7.
So Lauren's got 7 to show you. So you can start first then.
Okay. So this one I pretty much show every video just because I have certain ones that...
Oh, and look at this.
I know.
Look.
I'm organised.
Lauren has written on her cards.
Yeah.
So we actually have actual information that she can show you. Well,
yeah,
tell you.
I did sit there one day just writing all my projects. So, yeah, I'm
It's only
organised.
taken, what, 2.5 years of us doing Flosstube?
Yeah. But this is Strawberry Picking by Old Barn Stitching Co. And that's what it's going to look like when it's done. Mine looks different because I'm just doing loads of different threads from stash. But I'm doing mine on a 16 count opalescent Ada, but it's from Coffee Craft Fabrics, so it doesn't have a name. So this is my so far.
Well, that's actually quite true to colour, that
Yeah.
is. It's got some pinky mottle and stuff in that.
And I think I just started on his dungarees. So the colour I'm doing with that is Mediterranean Sea by the Gentler.
Had you already done the sleeves and
I
that
think
on the
so.
top though?
I think so. So that's the colour. So it's going to look really nice. And it's not too variegated so far, but I think it's just because of the strand that I pulled
think
out.
people say that a bit though about like gentle arts and weeks dye works, that they're not like heavily variegated. Some of the, but sometimes you might not want heavily variegated.
No.
You just want a bit of something. But I think that's cute.
Yeah, and I'm
Very
doing another type of blue for his little patches. So this one, and then there's 2 on his knees, I think. And I'm just using like a lighter blue, so hopefully that will look okay.
Love a
Hopefully,
DMC.
yeah, hopefully it won't clash too much. But yeah, it is very cute, and I am liking working on this one. And I don't think, for me, 16 count's any different to 14, so
No.
like I don't find it any more difficult to work on. So yeah, that was my first whip.
Oh. I'm not sure if that chart is actually available to purchase on Sammy's website yet. It was a freebie in the newsletter, the Floss Friends UK newsletter. I do believe it is coming out for sale, but I'm not sure when that is currently. So, okay, so the first whip that I did, which I pulled out the evening of the last Flosstube that we did, but I didn't put in that many stitches, to be fair, so I don't know how much progress you can see, but 214 stitches was all I put in on this one. So this is my chart. It is Mouse's Schoolhouse by Tiny Modernist. This is what it will look like when it is finished, and I think I put in the blackboard and the pencil.
The basket, I thought you did. I thought you did the pencil.
Oh yeah,
and the
you're wrong.
basket.
I'm not. You're wrong. Sorry, I'm wrong. So I was going to say that blackboard was a lot more stitching than 214 stitches. Oh, I think I don't think I did the pencil, did I?
I don't know.
Oh god, you will know because there'll be a picture up here
Yeah.
by the last time we were. I definitely did the flowers at the bottom.
Yeah.
So this is where I am at. So I may or may not have done the pencil, but I definitely did these down the bottom. So I've got to finish off the flower there, which is in the basket. So I've got the sunflower to do and the basket. And then I've got the schoolhouse and the fence left to do on that one. So yeah, I'm enjoying this one. And this is also in my bag to be done each, in between each floss tube, because I want to try and get as many of these tiny Modernist ones done.
Yeah, I think I work on mine like pretty much
in between the floss tubes, yeah. I think I'm getting into a bit of a rhythm, I think, now. Oh, sorry, I will tell you that is on 14 count Ada, which is tea, coffee dyed, and I'm using the called for DMC colours. What I was going to say was I'm getting into a bit of a rhythm now where I have my set things that I enjoy doing in between each floss tube, and then the whips that I'm doing on my whip kit. It seems to be working quite well for me at the minute, and I seem to be enjoying and happy doing it that way. So for now, anyway, that's working for me.
So I'll show my mouse then next.
You do your mouse.
So this one is called Mouse's Easter Bonnet by Tidy Modernist. I'm not really in season with this one, but I just decided.
Well, you never know. It might be finished and fully finished by next Easter. Might actually get fully finished. Don't hold me to that one though.
Yeah. So this is on 14 count grey rustico Ada. And I did quite a good chunk on this actually.
You did.
So this is what it looks like. I'm using all the called for DMC threads in CXC, but I did the chip with the back stitch, and then I did this. Is it a daffodil? I think it's a daffodil. Yeah. So I did that. So can you hold that?
Okay.
So next I'm going to do the other like flowers, and then I'll do the mouse last. So I think this one's gone quite quick actually. Yeah.
Maybe it's because though you're doing what I did and working on it more frequently as opposed to just pulling it out. I think this is the thing, even if you just do a little bit each time, you're noticing on each floss tube that you're actually making
Quite a bit
progress on them. But yeah, I feel like mine's come on a lot more than the last one.
Yeah, I feel like my Christmas one took me a while.
I think we're back into our stitchy groove a bit now, though, aren't we?
Yeah.
It probably helps that I'm still not working more than one day a week, though. So
Yes.
we are going to have to pause because we have a delivery, apparently. So. Okay, so that package was nothing to do with me. It was for my daughter again, you know, as it does. But anyway, where were we? You just finished yours. Okay, so the next whip I have to show you is my Sal, which I am doing. Well, it's actually not my Sal, but it's Danielle, the Cardiff Stitcher, is hosting Sal, which is Winnie the Pooh Wednesday Sal and a WTP Sal. So the idea is to work on your Winnie the Pooh projects on a Wednesday. However, I don't always do that, but I do try to do it in that week. So for example, last night we went out, which I'll talk about in life update, which was a Wednesday, so I didn't get a chance to work on it, but hopefully I will catch up again this week with that. So the project that I am talking to you about, when I actually get my card and everything here, is this one, which is now which is called Summer Pooh, and it is from Winnie the Pooh calendar, which was like a supplement book in the World of Cross Stitch magazine in 2006. So I'm not really sure who the designer of the chart is, but that's where it is from. So I chose to do the summer one, and this is actually coming on quite well as well. I'm just doing it on 14 count Ada, and I'm using the DMC colours in CXC.
In white Ada?
That's what I said, didn't I?
I think you just said 14 count Ada. I don't know.
I don't know, but I'll say it again. It's white. I was going so well, and then this delivery's come and put me right out. But yeah, I've worked on it quite, because I've had two since the last time. The last time we did our video was a Tuesday, so I've actually had 2 Wednesdays to work on that anyway.
Yeah.
So I've got quite a bit in this time.
Yeah, actually looks like Winnie the Pooh now.
It does. So I think since the last time you saw it, I have done the branch, which is the fishing rod, the bit of grass down here, and this rock, I think it is, which is very purple for a rock, but I think that's what he's leaning on. So yeah, I have a little bit of black stitching on his nose, and then there's back stitch and things. So that's where I'm up to. So I've done quite a bit, to be honest. I'm quite enjoying working on this as well. It's slightly smaller than the last one I did, but it's still, as all Winnie the Pooh charts, have a fair amount of back stitch in it. So I'm potentially going to be starting doing some of that on him now that I have the rock and things done, so that I'm not leaving it all until the last. So hopefully next time you'll see it, you will actually see some back stitch and face and things on him. So that's where that one is.
So my next one I haven't worked on for a while. So I'm not too sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Pako.
Well, that's how I would say it.
But I just call it Pako Pony Kit because it doesn't really have a name. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done.
You're having a bit of an issue with this, aren't you?
Yeah.
But I do think it's because you haven't checked. So she's having an issue with her threads on this chart because they come on a
card. Like this, it's just really messy and it's like tied up here or something. And there's no symbols or numbers to the colours, so you have to guess by the cover photo. And that's
well, there is a tiny, down the side of the chart, there is like a little, is it 4 little, just pass me that one. I'm not going to show the chart before you. So down the side of there, there's like those with the colours on them, with the symbols and things. But so you'd have to colour match it basically. Which I did say to Loran is something you do before you start working on the chart. Like the Mill Hill kits are a bit like that. The ones that I've done anyway are a bit like that, where you have to pre-sort the threads out. Loran doesn't.
I don't really know about this.
Pre-sorting threads.
No, because mine just looks silly. Really, it doesn't really look.
I don't think it looks silly at all. I don't think it does.
It doesn't look like it's meant to. And
well, it looks like a horse, so that's the first.
Yeah, but some colours are just going to be identical to the other one because.
Why don't you just trust the process?
No, I can't. Because they're all wrong, basically. So I'm going to have a weird looking horse.
I don't think they are wrong. I think we just need to sit down and go through the threads and do it properly, so that the next time you pick it out, you can be like, oh yeah. But then I tell you what, if you've got one thread wrong, you'll be having a hissy fit about that as well, won't you? Because the colours won't match.
Anyways, I'm using everything in the kit. And I did his nose, the other white bits, which are actually cream because there's no white in the kit. Didn't come with white, which is silly because on the cover photo it's like really white. So.
But the photos also don't always
but still
show true.
And then I did the darker bits and the eye and stuff, so definitely not my favourite project, but
right now, however, if I get
it won't be.
if I get to change the sort of threads with you, it might turn out to be.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I haven't got a lot of hope for this one, to be honest.
Nice to know. Okay, my next project, while she's sorting that out, you finished, dear?
Yeah.
My next project is again, another regular. So this one is 6 Wives from the Stitcherhood. This is what it will look like when it is finished. I am doing them pretty much the called for colours, apart from the fact I am changing the wives' names to a green DMC colour. And it is being stitched on a piece of 16 count Ada from Zoe's Gifts and Crafts, which is called Blood Splatter number 4.
Got itchy nose.
And
why is your needle wind all the way down there?
I don't know. And this is where I'm up to. So I believe, again, because I tend to do this a lot, the last time you saw it I'd got up to here, so I think I've put divorced in. So what I tend to do is in between each video I put one word or a wife's name. So I'm up to the top on this one. I've just got to put Catherine of Aragon here, and then I'll come down and do the rest of the wives' names. Then I have a date to put in the sides and Henry VIII's name there, and then I've got the crowns across the bottom. So that's sort of how I'm going to work it. I'm going to do the rest of the wives' names first, then the date and Henry VIII, and then I'll do the crowns at the bottom. So this one's going to be here for a little while because it is literally just one that I pull out, do a little bit on, put it away. But that's how I'm getting progress on it, rather than it being another whip in my whip count. So
yeah,
I don't want it to be in my whip count forever because it is a fairly small project. So that is that one.
Okay, so my next one I don't have a cover photo for because it was from Big Stitch, so I think it was an exclusive, and it was in the goodie bag with just the chart.
Hello from Liz Matthews chart,
Yeah.
isn't it? Design.
So this is what I did. I was planning on finishing the word stitch, but we went out last night and didn't get back till late, so
she's been left with an itch.
yeah. So I'll probably do it tonight, but it's on 14 count grey rustico, and it's a hand dyed thread called Purplinky. So it's like purples and
Is it Jodry?
Jory Designs, I think.
Jodry, I think it is.
Whatever. So this is what it is up to. So yeah, I just did that word, I think. So yeah, I'll probably finish the word tonight, I think, just to get stitch in, and then I'll just have the border left. So
That's not too difficult, that border though either. It's not a difficult border, so
yeah,
hopefully that shouldn't be on your whip
hopefully
list too long.
because I didn't start it not long after Big Stitch, so it's been going for like a year. Nearly a
Seems
year.
like longer that actually. It's probably because we're already looking at Big Stitch 2026. Which, spoiler alert, we've got into. But anyway, next one I'm going to look at is what I worked on is my strawberry tier. So this one is part of our SAL, the 3 Cheers for Trade Tiers SAL. This one that I'm working on, so this is my second one as well. And a little bit of it. And this one that I'm doing now is the strawberry tier. So the tier that we're doing currently are Erin Elizabeth designs, but to take part in our tier tray SAL, you can do any tiered trays. There are quite a lot of these ones. The Tiny Modernist have some of the bigger ones like the Wizard of Oz and Nutcracker. They've just got a Snow White one out as well, which Laura from Stitching by the Shore is doing quite a few of those ones in her whips as well. So also Madame Chantilly do them, and I've also been just discovered from our friend Ursula that another company, she's doing them. She's not on Instagram, so she can't show her progress on there. So she emails me her progress, and she's doing a Halloween tier from a company on Etsy called Stitching 4 Seasons.
But like it's the number 4.
Yeah, the number 4. So I'll quickly show you about that because I'll forget otherwise. I just pulled up the shop on Etsy. So I can just show you some of the patterns. So this is the shop on Etsy. So it's called Stitching 4 Seasons, and they have other designs, but like there's an Easter tiered tray, the Christmas one, and I think at the moment they've got a sale on the sale. They've got a half price sale on at the moment, so they're £3, the digital pattern. So the Christmas one is really cute. It's got an elf at the top of it. I like these ones as well. The Halloween one, so that is the one that our friend is currently doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really cool. Then there's a Valentine's Day one.
She's from Thailand, isn't she?
Yeah, this designer is from Thailand. There's also a 4th of July tier, like an Independence Day one, for any overseas ones that are doing.
sheeps are cute.
So yeah, that is, and also other than that, I mean, I really like that one as well. Anyone who knows me knows I like houses and towns scene. But there's some other cute designs on this page. So I've gone off on a tangent, but while we were talking about the tiered tray, I thought I would put that in there. So my progress, it's a fair amount, I think. I'm doing it on a 14 count Ada from myself, tea, coffee, dyed it myself, and I'm using the called for DMC colours. And I've done, since the last time you've seen it, I believe I've done the whole of the top.
Sorry, got sneeze.
The whole of the top of the tier I've done. So I'm now 2 down, and the 3rd tier is at the bottom. So yeah, I'll be going on to the bottom tiered one, and then it's like the bottom of the tray with some strawberries. So really enjoying this one. My needle minder is from Laura Cotton and Clay, part of my needle minder of the month club from there. But yeah, really enjoying these teeth. You can actually see my backstitch now.
Yeah, you can.
My backstitch on the books last time we were talking about this. I didn't think you could see it, but you actually can see it on camera, so it's all good.
It depends what time of day it is, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because some days you can see it, some days you can't.
Well, I decided I'm not taking it out and redoing it, so I'm happy with it. So that, I've got things all over the place now. So yeah, that is, like we said, part of our 3 Cheers for Trade tiers. If anybody is interested, send us a hashtag, tag us and our Instagram.
Yeah.
Personal Instagrams, and then we can actually make sure that we will see what your progress is. Or alternatively, you can do the same as what Ursula does, our friend. If you've not got an Instagram account, you can email my our email account is in the description box down below, and send us a picture over on there so we can see what your progress is.
Yeah.
So
okay, so my next one is Feathers by Bothy Threads, one of my favourites. I'm just using everything in the kit for this one as well, and I didn't do like loads and loads, but I still did a decent amount. So this is what it looks like. So I did this part of his cheek, I think I did his other ear, and then maybe some of this dark thread. I was going to do his eye, but that was a few different half stitches, and I think you were watching the racing. So
Oh, the touring cars.
yeah, so I wasn't concentrating. So I thought, oh, I'll leave the eye today and do it next time. So yeah, I'm really liking this one. Although I am liking my other Bothy threads as well at the moment, which you'll see, because I've done a lot on that one, so yeah. I do like Bothy threads.
Look at you getting all grown up, enjoying your Bothy threads and actually making progress.
I know. I started this one this year, in January, so I'm not doing too bad, I don't think. Not as bad as my other Bothy threads, because I started that in like 22 or 3.
Yeah, you did get. Well, we started that one together, didn't we? And I started my
Christmas donkeys.
Yeah, Christmas donkey one.
Yeah.
It was quite random. We started those as like a thing because we went to the Nimble Thimble, didn't we?
Mm.
And we bought those 2 charts. It was on the day. Was it on the day of my nan's, or would have been my nan's birthday? And so every month we decided we were going to stitch on the chart on my nan's birthday, which is totally irrelevant to my nan, other than the fact that we went to the Nimble Thimble. So we started doing that for a while, and then we sort of got out of it. I think it was when you stopped enjoying working on yours, so I sort of carried on a little bit with mine, and
now
you
I'm
stopped.
on my second one, and you haven't started your second one.
I haven't.
But I've not even finished one yet, and you have, so.
Yeah, I've not fully finished it, but we'll not talk about that, shall we? My next one is my Arctic Animals, which was a Sal from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery and is now finished, so I'm still plugging away at mine, but this is what it will look like when it's finished. And I have been working on the polar bear this time. So again, I haven't put in loads of stitching, but I've put another 304 stitches into this. So this is being stitched on a piece of fabric from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics, and I'm using the called for threads, and this is where I've got to. So you can actually see the polar bear's face.
Yeah.
So
it is quite cute.
So working on that one, slowly plugging away at this one, because that is as far as I've got. So after the polar bear, I've got another animal, the border to do, and then the words Arctic Animals underneath, and then I'll have finished it. So again,
they've got quite a few white animals, haven't they?
Yeah. But again, this is one that is in my bag and gets a few stitches, sometimes more than others, on this between Flosstubes. So I'm actually quite enjoying that one. Don't know when the next one stitch along is going to be coming out, but depending on what it is, I do like the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery ones, but they had one before this which is like a castle one, which I never did. It's quite sweet, but it's not really something I would probably display, so that's why I chose not to do that one. And also I don't really need any more
Sals.
well, if I like it, I will do it.
Okay, so my next whip is Hedgehog and Hyacinth by the Blue Flower. I'm not far off finishing this one actually, so that's good, but then I kind of don't want to finish it because I like it so much, you know, one of them whips where it's like that. So it's on a...
I'm sure you'll be looking for another Blue Flower one, hey?
Yeah, they are quite nice. So it's on 14 count Ada. It's an opalescent, but it's by the Stitchy Ferret, and I can't remember what it's called. And it's all the called for DMC threads, but in CXC.
It's super cute. I do like these. Did we see? Who was it? Was it Pam, the Ditsy?
The raccoon one.
Yeah, where Was that the blue flower where she had 4 or 5 different?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm second
It had
guessing
fudge.
myself.
It had
No.
fudge.
I thought it was because I said to you that is super cute, and there was like the raccoon, and there was another hedgehog one, wasn't there, or a fudge one? And I said that's super cute. Pam's only doing it for the raccoons because it's she's obsessed with raccoons. But because I thought I said that how cute that. While you're talking about that, I might have a little nose because I'm it's going to annoy me otherwise. So I'm looking down at my tablet. That's why. So Lauren can carry on chatting.
So I can't remember how many I did, but I definitely did these 2, and maybe I finished the flowers on this side. I can't really remember, to be honest, but yeah, I am liking this one.
I like the fact that the flowers are supposed to be in a very fancy floss, aren't they?
Yeah, and I'm just using what they tell you to use if you were doing the DMC
as an alternative, but it's actually blended, isn't it? It's like 2 blended threads.
You do 1 strand of the colour and then another strand of the other colour, and then you mix it together.
And it's actually coming out quite well.
And this was my New Year, New Start, so yeah, I'll show you the threads actually that they'll tell you to mix. So this is the darker one, so it's one of the new colours, isn't it? Because it's 29.
Yeah, they're up to 31 or 32.
Yeah, so it's like this dark purpley colour, and then this like rose type of colour. So you mix them and then it makes that flower colour, which I think is really nice.
Oh, I don't know, but I do like the bumble bear that's on here. Sorry, I don't mean to be really rude. Oh yes, they're part of the scrapbooks. So they have autumn scrapbook, springs. So I will show you one minute. So this is currently what I don't know if I can get it up any bigger. This is currently here what I'm talking about. So Pam, who is Ditzy Daisy Crafts, sorry about that.
Is doing the raccoon.
It's doing the raccoons. It's not coming up very well.
My camera never focuses.
Yeah. But so this is so the raccoons here. There is fudge or snail, as Lauren would say.
Possums?
No idea.
Where's the hedgehogs?
I don't think it was hedgehogs. I think it was fudge. But they have, so these are called the Spring Forest Scrapbook, and they are by the Blue Flower. But I've just seen they've got autumn ones and something or other else. So it's completely irrelevant to Lauren. But there is a bumblebee bear on there. You just have to go back. So yeah, my point to all that being that Lauren likes a lot of the Blue Flower stuff, so I'm sure there'll be something else replacing that shortly.
Yeah. I've got to show you the bumble bear now. That is cute. It's got like a pumpkin.
That is very cute.
It is cute. Okay. I'll have a look later, probably.
No, I was going to say, you just crack on. I'm going to show you my last whip. I've been looking at it. They're our friends. They know what happens. So my last one that I worked on, because today is the 3rd, so Tuesday was the 1st of July, which meant that I could start my July section of Beach from Flossabilities. So again, Danielle, the Cardiff Stitcher, is hosting this sal, which is called Beach Sal, and we have split it up into sections. Mine is slightly different to Danielle's section, but basically each one of the sections is per month. So I started off in the middle doing the sandcastles. So my July one is Spot the Sea Life. So because it was the 1st of July, Yes, I can start working on it. I love this chart so much. I do. It's just a nice comfort stitching is what it is. It's being stitched on a 14 count Ada, which I lightly tea dyed. This isn't tea and coffee dyed, it's just lightly tea dyed myself. And I'm using all the called for threads, including some of the fancy flossers. We'll get it in. Just keep talking. So this is where I'm at. So I put in 414 stitches on this one. So, and I've done all of this so far. So I've done the crab and the writing, so the spot the sea life, and the little blue bits around the crab. So this section I've got a seahorse to do, some more of these little blue ones over the seahorse, and a little sort of green, not sure if it's not really not a flower, like a sea plant I suppose you'd call it, and then some waves at the bottom, and that is July's.
Is it a coverall
Section done. Well, it's sort of, I'll just show you what I mean. It's like a bluey green.
I think it's a coverall. I don't know though.
So I'm talking about next to the seahorse. So that's what I've got to do. So that might only be another 1, maybe 2 nights of stitching, and that will be July's done.
Already. Yeah, roll.
And then August is the bottom section of it. I'm also bringing down the border as we come as well, so I don't have that at the end to do. I was going to do that all at the end, but I'm not. I'm doing that in each section. So I love this chart. There's minimal back stitch, which I've already done the back stitch. The only back stitch was in the sandcastle and on the washing line, and that's it. So the rest of it is just nice comfort stitching with small like emblems. So
yeah,
well done Loran and family at Flossabilities. I love this chart so much. So if anybody is interested in joining in, it is hashtag beach sale. Again, if you want me to, or Danielle or whatever, to see your progress, tag us in it so we get to see it. So that, have you, oh, you've got one more.
I've got one
Oh,
more.
I thought it's because we were waffling about the blue flower. I thought you'd already done yours.
No, I've got one more. So this one,
I've got Flosstube itchy nose as well. I seem to have Flosstube yawning and Flosstube itchy nose, and I'm not tired before I come on here, so I don't know what that's all about.
Anyway, this might have a Bothy threads, so it's called Crackers About Cheese, and I did a lot on this one actually.
You've got your groove back, haven't you?
Yeah, so far. I don't want to jinx it though.
No, but I think when you do something wrong on it, then it stops you from wanting to work on it. When you sort that out.
Yeah. Well, I did like loads and loads and loads and loads. So I did, so start from here then, so I did like around here, and I did that thing, so I did loads. So yeah, I'm using everything in the kit, and I'm just gonna do one page at a time, so I haven't really got too far left with this page actually. So I've got some more cheese stuff to do at the top, and then I'll be starting on the mice, which are a lot of colour changes.
Do the little tail as well.
Yeah, and Star's body, and yeah, the body. So there's like a lot of colour changes in them mice.
You're doing really well though.
Yeah. And I managed to cover up a stain that was over here. And I thought I'd be able to cover it up, but I don't know if it would have covered up it all, but it actually has. Well, the worst part anyway, so that's a bonus. Because I didn't really want to wash it. I think that's the only stain, actually. Because that blue one we got out, didn't we? Was it?
What is it, from a hoop?
Oh.
Was it from a hoop, Mark?
Yeah, but we didn't use the blue one on this one, actually. I'm thinking of my
The last
DMC
one.
sampler.
Oh.
So I think all the stains are out now. But yeah, so hopefully I can work on this one a bit more and get a page finished soon. Hopefully.
Look at her go.
So that's
She's got all
my
grown up, guys, in the last 2.5 years. You know what? If we weren't on video, she'd be saying, "Oh, you're so cringe, Mum." She is cringing. Yeah, I can see it in her face. She's grinning at you lot, but to me, she's thinking, "Shut up, Mum. You're proper cringing me out." Right. Okay. So they are our whips, our works in progress.
We did a lot this time.
We have got quite a lot in. Yeah, for the last just over 2 weeks. So yeah, we've got a bit of haul to show you. I've got a new Flosstuber who I'm going to talk to you about, and a bit of plans. So
I also think it's already been like 50 minutes, so that time scale would have gone out the window.
It has, and I said an hour and 20 minutes. So
yeah, but we'll be over that.
It just depends on how long Loran waffles for in the.
You like to waffle in life
update.
update, actually. I don't really have many exciting things going on.
I'll give you this list and you can talk about the life update.
No.
Okay, so next we will be up on haul. Okay, so we're on to haul now, which we've got a little bit, not loads to show you, to be honest. So we'll go on. I went to the range, which is like over in the UK, it's like a general sort of householdy, crafty.
It reminds me of like the UK version of that Hobby Lobby, just from what I've heard of
Maybe,
it.
yeah, it's just got a bit of everything. So there's like homeware, food, DIY stuff, seasonal things, crafts, and photo frames. I get a lot of our picture frames from when we do frame.
Decorations at Christmas.
Yeah, decoration stuff. So it's like a general place, and I went in there and I found one of these boxes with the 2 drawers in it. So they just like got 8 drawers like that, both of them. They were like $5.99 this was, and I've got one of them already. Not in black though, but I couldn't get the one that I wanted. The last one that I had was like a
tiger.
No, it was like a leopard, a cheetah type print on it, which it's basically what I'm storing some of my patterns in. So I'm trying to do like what's already in there is autumn and Halloween grouped together, winter and Christmas grouped together. So in these I will have like spring and Easter potentially, so anything throughout the spring season really, and then other things that I've got that are sort of summer related. So then all that should be left up in this box here will just be like general patterns, so not themed.
So we should get this finish from there.
I'm not sure, possibly. Doesn't matter, but you can show it anyway.
Well, this is where I store my charts, and
So
mine's
like,
getting really overfull, so I need a new one.
They're box files, aren't they?
So you just press that little thing and then open it.
Yeah, so that's where you store yours.
So like that.
I quite like those sort of drawer effects, because I mean you could do the same with those. You basically have 4 that have got the seasons and the celebrations in them, because I'll have quite, I mean, to be fair, I'll have probably more Halloween, Christmas, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this is getting very jammed up there, so I want to be able to put the patterns in that I was thinking of doing stuff like designer name, but then it's not going to work. So this is what is suiting me for now. So I got that. Then I have an idea which probably won't happen because I have many ideas I don't do. But basically, I've bought a scrapbook, which is not to do what some people do, finish off their, or fully finish off their projects. Because I've seen a few people, Laura does it from Stitching by the Shore, and other people as well. And any projects that they don't want to like frame or pillow or whatever, but they like stitching it, they finish it off in a scrapbook, which I do like the idea of. But a lot of my things I like seasonal things, so that's why I've never done anything like that. However, the more smaller things you do, the less room you have to put them out when you've done them, and I'm finding that already, trying to find places to pull out my seasonal pieces sometimes, especially Christmas and Halloween, is getting more and more difficult. So I do get why people do it. However, this is not why I bought it. So I've bought a scrapbook so that I can, the pictures, photos and things of all my projects that I have, probably since I started back in 2019, although I do have some finished projects here that I could take photographs of, is basically just to take photographs of all of my projects and document them. So make it like, put the picture of the project that has been fully finished in here, and sort of put some fancy paper behind it and do a bit of which might make me want to fully finish some more of my projects as well when I get to a point that I've got nothing else to, but I've got a whole box full of finishes to fully finish. Then it might encourage me to fully finish them. So that is my plan for that, just for my own record, really. I mean, I've got my Instagram page and things, but a lot of that is progress over time.
Yeah.
So there's an awful lot of pictures of each project until I get to a fully finished thing, whereas this will just be my fully finished picture. So that, I picked that up as well.
Got this like wooden, square wooden hanging sign. And these are good to fully finish, aren't they?
They are, because you can paint them or
yeah.
leave them like that, depend. I think that was what, like £1.50, I think that one was. So I picked that up because we like doing things on different stuff. So.
Then you got some white mini easels.
Yeah, so I picked these up. These were in the wedding section. So I think they're used, and there were 3 table easels, so they're just smaller ones, but they're just 3 easels like that, and they were £2.50. So I think they're used in weddings for like to put table numbers or whatever on them. But I use them when I'm not, like, if I haven't framed something, or and I just have it as more of a flat fold type piece or a leaning piece, I will use those to lean them into. I've also put pillows on those before now, if they're not super thick pillows and they won't fall off.
And even though they're white, you can paint them if you want.
You could if you want to, but I mean, white is generic and I'm quite happy. I might pick up another pack of them because I quite like having those to put my lean tees on. So they were all from the Range company. I also then had my needle minder of the month come through from Laura at Cotton and Clay. So this month's needle minder is this leaf, which is really cute. It's like a half and half sort of colour to it. So I like that one. Use a lot of these needle minders on my projects. Funny enough, I've always got a project that I can find to work with them pretty much as soon as I finish my Flosstubes, to be honest. So that's my needle minder of the month. You can show.
Then you ordered some charms from Amazon, was it?
No, these ones from off Etsy, but I can't remember what the name of the place was. But we decided after last time that we needed some more summer charms, didn't we? So.
Yeah, so these are like sea animals, which you're probably not going to be able to see. But there's like seahorses and turtles and stuff like that, really, and octopuses and stuff. And then there was some strawberries and more sea life.
They're more coloured ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones are sort of silver ones. So.
And the strawberries will be good because we do quite a lot of like.
We got some
things.
strawberry finished, strawberry things.
And strawberry tier. When that's done, you can pop some of them on there.
Yeah.
And then from Abercorn, which is like a sewing crafty shop, isn't it, in town?
Yeah. Nice big shop.
I got these for my monthly pillows. So I just wanted like a plain fabric that goes with everything, because obviously there was like different style ones. So just got this like grey gingham. There was lots of different colour ones. There was like black and pinks and greens, I think, but I think grey just goes with everything. And this is like 2 meters, I think.
Yeah,
so.
we did get a lot, but then to be honest, this fabric, even though that will do her whole finishing of the 12 pillows that we did last year, but also it's just a nice generic fabric to do finishing with.
They don't charge you that much for 2 meters either, do they?
No.
And then we also got some interfacing too.
Yeah, iron-on interfacing, which I used to
we
finish
needed to
on.
order stuffing as well.
You're quite right, we did. Because we get through quite a bit of stuffing, because we do quite a lot of pillow finishes when we do them, to be honest. But when we were in Abercorn, it was this tiny little bag, like that big.
For almost like £5.
It was like £5. And I said, I'm not being funny, but some of our pillows probably will take that bag in like 2 or 3 pillows. So I was going to have a look on Amazon and get a bigger bag delivered. So yeah, I do need to do that actually. So yeah, there is that. I also needed to order some threads from Rachel, who is Talking Dog Stitcher on Flosstube and Instagram, and she owns Talking Dog Stitchery shop. And I needed those to finish off sorting out my threads for my house for all seasons, so my winter house I showed you earlier. Well, of course they couldn't travel alone, those threads. And I was watching Adelaide from Adelaide Stitches. I'm not sure if it was her whip parade. It might have been a whip parade, but also when she was going through a few floss tubes ago, she was doing like different designers and showing her charts, her patterns that she'd been doing through different designers. One of those designers was Primrose Cottage Stitches, which we love their patterns as well.
Yeah.
But she showed me, and also anybody who's been here for any length of time as well will know that Hocus Pocus is one of my favourite Halloween films. I love Hocus Pocus.
And we love Halloween.
Which ironically, we've only watched fairly recently, haven't we? Not recently, but we only watched for the first time like a couple of years ago. Which is weird because I've never even watched the first one. So that was weird to me. And then all of a sudden I've just got into it. Yeah, I've got into it massively. So anyway, off on a tangent, I saw that Adelaide Stitches was doing this chart called Come We Fly. And it's a really simple one, but it had like the 2 broomsticks, or the broomstick and the mop and the hoover. And I was like, oh my God, I love that chart so much. Where has she got it from? And she said she's got it out of this book. Well, she didn't actually. She just said it was from Primrose Cottage Stitches. So I started looking but couldn't find it. And then I found it that it was in this book of charts. Yeah. So I grabbed it. So this is the book that I am talking about. And it is 13 Spooky Smalls from Primrose Cottage Stitches.
And we've discovered that we'd probably do all
I pretty much would do all of these charts.
I just wouldn't do the coffee themed ones.
I don't.
Let's just use these.
So this here is the chart. I don't want to show the actual. That is the picture of what Adelaide showed on her floss tube, and that is what I went, oh my God, I need it. Now it is so basic, but
I think we should both do this.
I love it. And it's cool. Going to be super quick, really. But it is like a part of that second one that I love. Like, we always joke, don't we, that like I'm the one that rides the Hoover and I'm behind. So that was just like perfect. So that.
But actually, you should have the mop now as well. Because you do clean.
Okay, well, I also should have the broomstick then.
That's just your personality in one chart, basically.
What, cleaner?
Yeah.
I'll scrub a brilliant. Okay, great to know. Thanks. Appreciate that. So, as well, these are some of the other charts that are on there. So we've got this one here, which is like I think it's called Quaker Basket. No, that's not the one. Halloween Basket. That one's called. It's a bit difficult for me to show you because the pictures and the pattern are on the same one. There's that one on the back, which is literally called October 31st. So I like that one as well.
There's some hocus pocus ones.
Yeah, there's like a pumpkin stack. So that one's like pumpkin stack. I like that. There's a couple of them that have got like coffee, wicked without coffee and stuff. This one here, which again is super small, trick or treat. There's a quilt, so
like
a pumpkin quilt. Yeah, then there's Hocus Pocus Broom Company, which is another one I'm going to be doing, and that one I quite like as well, finished in a round. Lauren really likes this one, so that's like, not going to show you, but it says Candy Lane, Spooky Street and Haunted House, so that's super cute. This one as well, which is so there's basically 13 smalls in there. Lauren has probably said there might be one or two that she wouldn't do. The one's mainly with coffee in it. There's a couple with coffee, and you don't really drink
this one either, just because I have a chart similar to that.
The Witch's Brew one, yeah. Whereas I actually think I would quite happily stitch all of them in here. So for me, this was a fab book purchase.
Imagine if you do like that thing again where you do.
I'm not doing new start. Spooky September. I did Spooky September 2 years ago. So the first year we did Flosstube, I did. Yeah. And I did 25 new starts, which pushed my whip count from 25 or something, 22, up to 40 something. And since then, my whip count has not dropped below 45. So that was probably not my best chart. And I'm not adding another 13 to that.
I think mine's like a little less than that. Like a little less than
You're probably
half
in
of
your
that.
20s, I would say.
Really?
Maybe nearly 30. Well, I don't know. No, but we're not doing a mid-year whip parade to prove that to you, because we just have... It's way too much stress for us to do a end-of-year whip parade. So that is not happening. So anyway, I... love that, and you'll probably see some of those charts starting fairly soon. The last thing that I purchased, which is to start a new start, which I'm waiting on some threads from Rachel, again, is Stitching Rules, which is by Primrose Cottage as well. I've now got the fabric for it. So Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics, when we were at the retreat, the Floss Friends retreat, and Sarah and Bethany enabled pretty much everybody. So Sarah is from Cross Stitch Sarah on YouTube, and Bethany is her daughter-in-law. They were there, and both of them had started this Stitching Rules chart. And when we wandered round, we were like, oh, I really like that. I've seen that. I said I really wanted. So it ended up talking about starting a sale, and whoever wanted to stitch it and to potentially finish it by next, so like October 2026 retreat, Floss Friends retreat. So there's no like massive urgency on it, and I will probably split mine up. But I've they didn't, basically what I was going to say, Megan did not have the fabric. She was there at the retreat but didn't have the size fabric that I needed, because I did want to stitch it on 14 count. So, and she was going on holiday, but she said she would dye me a piece, a similar colour. So this is the fabric that she dyed. So this is a 12 by 25 inch 14 count Ada. So it's a long piece. So that'll fit my stitching rules on. And it's like a light grey sort of mottle to it. So that is exactly what I needed. So I'm just waiting for the threads to come, and then I will be joining in with that cell. So I'm just trying to, I will then figure out how many months I've got and where I'm going to block it off, because stitching rules have got quite chunky parts to it, and I don't want to commit myself.
You just close.
I don't want to commit myself to doing those parts like monthly and then not being able to do it and then giving up on it. So that is that. So hopefully by the next time you see us, should have the threads, or at least not have started that. So I'm joining in very soon, Sarah, and half of the Floss Friends retreat, or half of Floss Friends, I think, is joining in with it at some point. So so that is all our haul.
Yeah.
I do have a new Flosstuber that I want to talk to you about. I'm not sure if you've watched her.
I don't think so.
I think it's one that I have come across and watched. So she's literally on her first one, so she is very new. Her name is Jeannie, and she's from Lil Freckled Frog, so I'll put that underneath. She's from Texas, so she's from America, and she started off, so she's been a quilter for a long time, for about 28 years, I think she said. She started off quilting. She then opened her own quilt shop. As far as I know, I don't think she now runs that quilt shop, but about 3 years ago she started with cross stitch. So she has a varied range of projects. Some Primrose Cottage there. She's got Brenda Gervais stuff in there, and also she's doing some Stacey Nash, the animal crackers. So one of them is, I think it's Lily the frog, but she's doing a conversion because her favourite colours are like aquas and teals and stuff like that. So she's changing the colour of the outfit to her thing. She's also been making her own project bags with using Elizabeth Ann Can Stitches tutorials, and she's got a really cool frog bag on there. So yeah, like I said, she's on her first Flosstube. I think the second one should be coming out fairly soon, but she's been on her first ever retreat as well, so she's had like a couple of weeks of firsts. But go over and check her out. She did a really good job. She's her first Flosstube, she didn't do like what average people do, which is like a whip parade. She's gone and shown her first quilt and cross stitch project to like her last or more current one, so you can see the difference between, and considering her first quilt was like 20 odd years ago to her more recent ones, you can see a difference in that. I don't do quilts, I'm not a quilter, but you can appreciate somebody else's, especially when you're a crafter. You appreciate people's craft. So I will put her link in the description box below, but go over and give her some love and support her channel. I'm sure you will find something there that you enjoy looking at. She also has a really cute poodle called I'm gonna forget what he was called. It's on the end of her channel, so she says goodbye and then she comes back and has brings him in and shows him. He's super cute. So yeah, go over and check out her channel. I'll put that in the description below. So that is our Flosstuber of the Flosstube. Last time in our last video we went through a big long list of people, our usuals that we've been catching up with, so I'm not going to do that this time, because yeah, that just list goes on and on. So I've gone back to my normal Flosstuber of the Flosstube. So that is where we are at. I'm going to do some brief plans. Then Loran has found something that she's going to show you, which is craft, well, not craft related, but I suppose it is craft related.
Yeah.
As part of her work, so she's going to show you some of those things. So yeah, we will go on to
It's
plans.
not like this though, like I made these two things.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
No. It's your drawings, isn't it? Sketching. So but she thought you might like to see what she's been doing. So plans for me, my plans are my usual things. So my Winnie the Pooh Wednesday, work on my my strawberry tier, work on my Arctic animals, my 6 wives, my beach Sal, Mouse's Schoolhouse. So I have like the list of like 6 things that I work on all the time. Hopefully start my stitching rules as soon as the threads for that come in. You may see a new start on these spooky smalls. Yeah. You also might see a new Halloween skeleton coming through because we've got the black Ada for that, so I might do that. For some reason I don't know whether it's the heat or what, but I'm starting to push my way into Halloween stuff.
Oh god.
Yeah. The other thing that I do is spin my wheel, but before I do that, what's your plans this time?
So when we took a little break, I changed my bag over, so I've got the usuals like Bothy threads and both of my mice and stuff like that, and then I'll pop some different things in there, only like 3 different things, but just to get some more progress on them. And then I am going to have a new start hopefully on, it's going to be a gift, but it's not going to be a gift for a family member, because I have spoke about that. I think I don't like doing it for family members because I feel like they don't appreciate it. So yeah, I'm going to do a gift for someone, and then maybe I'll start the thing with you as well, the Come We Fly one.
Ooh.
Maybe. So yeah, they're my small little plans.
Cool. We've got some plans going on.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to do a spinning wheel. So I spin my wheel twice for 2 of my current whips that I have, or ones that could be new starts, but basically.
You know what I'm planning for one of them to be?
Don't say a full coverage.
No.
I bet it will be a full coverage. Not that I have many of them, but they're going to come out at some point.
No, like your tiny Modernist tiers, because I like them and they can be added to the tier sale.
And do you know what the problem is with them? Is that I've got 2 on the go.
But Maggie got you one.
I've got the Alice in Wonderland that Maggie from Homemade on the Ridge gave to me. Yeah. They also have the Nutcracker one, which I haven't purchased yet.
And Snow White.
And they also have the new Snow White one, which I haven't purchased yet.
Let's just get through.
Have no business purchasing them, but they're here. They're in the back of my brain trying to push their way forwards.
Let's keep them at the back, please.
So anyway, let's hope that doesn't come, because if that comes and I start enjoying stitching those, then we're in trouble, guys. Okay, so I'm going to spin. So the first one that I'm going to be working on,
you should name this your whip wheel.
Oh, okay. It's my Henry VIII piece. So this is a...
Oh, no.
Let's be real. Okay. You're not going to see a huge amount of progress on this one. I do love it, but it's one of those hard-working pieces. But this is
not full coverage.
This is what the point is of this wheel, is to force me to work on some of the projects that I would just bypass.
Even though you might only do 10 stitches.
I will do more than 10 stitches. But what I might do is, because they're paper patterns, this Henry VIII is paper pattern, and now that I'm using a program, if I can't get it into Pattern Keeper or Markup X RXP, I've got an app that Tan, the monogamous cross stitcher, told me about, which is, I think it's called Exodo, which is basically I just take a picture of the chart and I can mark it off. It doesn't give me any stitch counts or anything like that, but it does mean that I can zoom up really close and mark it off, and I'm quite happy with that. I'd rather do that than mark off on paper, because paper patterns, especially when there's lots of symbols, just
frazzle your brain.
Annoy me now, to be honest. I don't mind doing paper patterns for smaller projects, but bigger ones Anyway, that's irrelevant. So that is the first one I'm working on. So you will see some progress on my Henry VIII piece. So my next one,
I bet it's going to be
I bet it's going to be African Sunset, which is my full coverage piece.
Or a Halloween one. Cause
Okay, let's go. Let's see.
Imagine.
Oh, it's my tree!
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Loran has got her way. It's the tiny modernist.
I manifested that.
Edgar Allan Poe tree. So I do have a Halloween piece. So this is quite nice. I like these one. I like this one. So I've got my Henry VIII and I've got my tiny modernist Edgar Allan Poe tree.
You can add that to our sound now.
To what? I've got
to our sound.
again. Yeah, I can do. No. So those
I manifested that.
Those are the projects that you are going to see some progress on next time. So
maybe I'll do that every time now.
Manifest. I don't have that many tiny modernist trees.
No, but next one I think you should do your G is for gingerbread.
I did that one not long ago, I think.
Oh, it's still on there.
Okay, so they are our plans. So Loran is now I'm gonna pass it over to Loran. She's gonna show you and talk you through what she wants to show you. So
yeah,
I'm gonna tell them what it is that you're actually.
So a few months ago, I started an online sketching lesson just because I wanted to get a bit better with drawings, and in the future I want to draw like proper realistic drawings. So yeah, I'm making a start. So yeah, I've done a few. They're not the best because obviously I'm new to drawing, sketching, and some of them are in colour, some of them are in black and white and blending and stuff. So yeah, but this is my very first one I did. So it's a red panda.
This lesson is called Sketch and Science, so it's quite good because she will like during the course of the tutor sketching, she will sort of
learn,
see how everyone's doing, and then just talk about the animals, give some
quizzes,
facts, and she'll ask them questions and stuff while they're sort of doing their own. So it's not just a sketching; it is like a learning about the and
I don't do
the animal as well
live because it's on a Wednesday, so I'm at the yard. But also, she does draw quite fast because obviously she's used to it. So, and I draw quite slow.
But I think you're catching. You seem to keep up quite well.
Yeah, I managed to do it in the hour because that's how long it is. And then I've just done some like practice.
I think you started in May, didn't you? And it's a weekly.
Then I did a kestrel. So this one was on a branch, and it's like,
just a black and white sketch, this one, wasn't it?
But I started doing the blendings with like my finger, which you're not really meant to do because your oils on your finger can ruin the paper and stuff, and it can get your fingers dirty. But I tried it, and then after that we bought some blending pencils, didn't we? And they work really, really well. So I've done that, and then I've done a peacock butterfly. This one was difficult because obviously butterflies, there's some like, what's that, symmetrical.
Yeah, I think you were trying too hard to get it to be perfect.
So
and like the tutor said, butterflies actually aren't as perfect as you think they are. So you don't need to make them look perfect.
But I thought, it's going to be easy. Like butterflies are easy, and it was actually quite difficult to draw. Then my next one, I think this one was my favourite content page. Yeah, so this is a humpback whale. So I do really, really like this one. The tail cut off because she gives you a photo as well that she gets from, and she copies that. But the tail cut off, so she was like just freestyled the tail basically. So I tried to do it, but yeah, I have been practicing drawing some tails. So this was another black and white one. And then the next one was a blue ringed octopus. So I've done quite a lot, to be honest. His tentacles are difficult. And then this one, which I don't like. This one.
I love this one. I love this one.
This one's a harpy eagle.
I think she's captured it so well.
I'm not keen on this
But
one.
this is probably one of my favourite ones. She was really not happy about this, but as soon as I saw it, there's something about this face, and she's captured the beak really well and the eyes. I don't know why she's being so hard on herself, because I think it looks brilliant. It is one of my favourites.
I don't like drawing birds. I think that's the one I don't like. So I'm trying to draw some more beaks to practice and stuff, and some feathers. So I have been practicing.
I think you're doing really well. So much better than me, because I'm not a drawer. Your dad loves drawing. He's always tried to get our kids and me since you know, I've been with him, but got the kids to try and do some drawing, because he said anybody can draw, and I don't believe that. I've told him for years not everybody can draw, and he said you can. But he draws from pictures. He draws a lot of cartoony ones as well. He likes that when he gets chance.
I think I like the end result of the realistic ones, because they're more intricate, and then you can see them kind of looking like the actual animal. So that's them so far. I think I've got a lioness to do next, so that'll be cool. I did want to do an actual lion though, because I wanted to do like the mane, because that would have been cool. But yeah. So I've got a few more lessons until the end of the block, haven't I? And I have been enjoying it, to be fair, so...
I'm quite surprised, because I thought you might have gone, after the first week, I thought you might have gone, oh, do you know what, it's really not for me. But you seem to be really enjoying it. And it's quite nice, because sometimes I'll sit here. It's like an hour lesson. So if I've got nothing else to do, or I've done all my chores, whatever, and she's doing her sketching, I'll just get my stitching out for like an hour and just sit here with her, and we'll have a... Yeah. She'll do a sketching, I'll do some an hour of stitching, we'll have a cup of tea or whatever, and we'll just have like an hour of nice chill. So it's quite nice. Doesn't happen very often. Most of the time I have something to do, but it's quite nice, really. So I think you're doing really well. I'm not going to say any more, because I'll be cringing her out again.
So yeah, I thought I'd show you that anyway. So might show them a bit more often, maybe.
Well, you'll have one each week, other than in the holidays. In the school holidays, they don't do them. I can just
do some practicing, get things right. That I'm not happy
Well, you'll always be able to find pictures to be able to practice on. There's pictures of everything, especially if it's sea life and stuff that you're using. Okay then, so that is our craft and stitchy related things. I think I've gone way over my 1 hour and 20 minutes prediction,
definitely.
And I've not even done life update yet.
I don't even try to predict, to be honest.
Maybe if I didn't predict, I'd get it under the hour and 20 minutes.
God knows.
So if that's all you are here for, thank you very much for spending some time with us. If you are new, like I said, and you've liked what you've seen, we know we're not for everybody. We are interesting at times. We've been quite good today, actually, for us, but we can be interesting. We totally understand that. There are so many Flosstubers out there, and there are more coming out all the time. So we are extremely grateful for our returning viewers and anybody that actually chooses to come back and spend some time with us, because we know how hard it is to keep up with the ones that you actually watch regularly, and then adding new ones in that you know that you enjoy is tough. So we do appreciate that, and thank you to all of you. And hopefully we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time, so we will see you guys then. If you are interested in a life update, we have got a little bit to talk about. So I did say I was going to hand it over to Loran and let her talk about life update.
No.
Okay, so we've got a little bit to talk about. So the last time we were here, our last video, we did a couple of days early, and that reason was because we had my nephew's wedding that we were going to. It was lovely.
Hot in one
but
word.
it was boiling.
Like
like horrendously boiling. Like
Sweat
it wasn't.
dripping off.
It actually spoiled the day, I think. Not that you can spoil a wedding. That sounds an awful thing to say. That does sound an awful
Everyone
thing to
was
say.
a bit.
I don't mean that nastily, but everyone, was hot and bothered. We were all sweating. It was an unpleasant atmosphere. Nobody really wanted to be stood around in the heat having photos taken. The meal that we had was a 3-course sit-down hot meal. Nobody was really bothered about that.
Even the pudding was hot. Like, it wasn't ice cream. Was
No,
it was
obviously they had a disco in the evening. Most people were stood outside trying to cool off, so nobody was really dancing or enjoying themselves. However, it was beautiful. And I'm going to say that. It was lovely. She looked stunning. She is 8 months pregnant. I mean, now she's pretty much ready to drop, but she was 8 months pregnant, heavily pregnant, with a long-sleeved dress.
Her feet were all swollen.
Yeah, they couldn't do their first dance because she could hardly walk because her feet were so badly swollen. She was struggling. But she did get through it very well, a lot better than a lot of people. It was a lovely service, quite simple, but in a lovely setting. It was a stately home with stunning grounds.
To be fair, I was able to eat most of the food. I didn't really think I'd be able to, but I was actually full because the main meal was like a mushroom pie.
Wellington it was called. So it was quite a stodgy sort of pie, but
then
it was
came
nice.
With gravy and roast potatoes, but they were like softer.
Yeah.
And veg, so I could eat that. So I was quite stuffed from that actually. So I didn't go hungry.
It was nice. It was a nice service. It was. We had a bit of an issue with my mum. For anybody that's been here long term knows, my mum is waiting on a hip replacement, and she is so stubborn.
Yeah.
Like, when they say stubborn as a mule, my mum is worse. Like, my mum is as stubborn as 10 mules put together in a room. She's horrendous. Like, people will say that's where I get it from. I'm stubborn, but she is so bad. And the plan was that she was going to be either taking her mobility scooter, so a motorised scooter, a sit-on scooter, or a wheelchair, so that when she was struggling at her worst, we could manoeuvre around. That was the plan that I thought was happening. We get there and she has her crutches and a stick. Okay?
And her walker.
Okay, and a walker. Yeah. Which sound great, you know? However, this stately home is not disabled friendly at all.
No ramps.
So to start with, there are 3 steps to get into the room where the service is. My mum was struggling on the first step. Like, took us 3 or 4 of us to be able to get her up. And because it was so hot, she was getting more frustrated, angry. She was noticing that people were watching her, which was upsetting her even more. So we tried to get her into the service. Eventually we got her in and got her sat down. We then coming out of the service. Again, obviously the bride and groom are out first. Photos are being taken in front of the place. And she's struggling to get down the steps.
They were trying to get the photos done quickly because
of the heat, and trying to get people round into the seating area, into the shade. That again was another issue. She had her walker, but there was no flat ground for her to walk on.
It was all stones.
It was stones and cobbles. So every time she tried to move her walker, it was getting stuck. The stones were getting through her, obviously her shoes, so she was struggling to walk anyway. So in the end, she sat down on her walker in front of the house, and we bought a drink and an ice cream. They had like an ice cream truck thing while all of the other photos were going on and all of the other family members were around the back of the hall. at the home. Eventually, I decided that I was going to bring my dad's car round and drive her round to the back so that she could sit with family and friends. So we got her into the car, moved the car around, got her back out. All of this was going on. So she sat there for a little while, saying that she was a burden and a pain. And so we missed a lot of what was going on because obviously my mum is my priority to me. So we didn't take a lot of photos. There are no photos that I took of my family or me because my mum was my priority. We then had a walk then to get to where the meal and the afternoon and the evening do was. There was no way my mum was going to do that. So whilst everybody else was moving and going to this place, nobody actually told us because we would have moved her earlier. So everyone, I then got the car, moved the car around, got her out, and there was a bit of a walk up a ramp to get in, and then another step into this building, which they'd put like a
unstable ramp.
Yeah, it was like a ramp, but on a small foldable one up quite steep. While she was really struggling. The staff were trying to get the bride and groom in. Everybody else was sat down at their tables so that they could welcome them and start getting the food going, and my mum couldn't get into the place. She was getting quite upset by the whole experience. Eventually we got her in. You know, there was one staff member that was sort of like, oh, if you could all go and sit down. And I was like, yeah, we are trying. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, it's not that easy. So eventually we got her and she sat down and ate her food and stuff. So it was all good. And then we moved onto some comfortable chairs later that evening. But because of how long she'd been sat there, she then couldn't get out of the chair, got upset. And my mum doesn't cry very often. My mum's not. She's one of these really strong women that doesn't cry. And she got really upset. I think it all became a bit too much for her. So we ended up leaving at that point. But yeah, it was hard with her. The day could have been better if the weather was cooler.
Yeah.
All round. And we also had another drama that one of the bride's nieces ended up having
throwing up.
Well, she had heat stroke. So we had an ambulance called. She went off in the ambulance, and during the course of that time she had multiple epileptic fits. They are now testing her to see whether or not she has epilepsy. So she was taken off during the wedding for that.
Yeah,
so
it was all a bit much.
It was a bit of an issue, but the service was lovely. The photos of the bride and groom are lovely. And yeah, we are now eagerly awaiting a newborn.
I'm grateful baby didn't come on the day.
We are grateful, but I feel so sorry for her because she has had like a month, or at least the last 2 weeks, of really hot, humid, sticky weather. I don't envy her at all. I've had a baby in July. My eldest is going to be 24 next week. And it was warm then. So I don't envy her at all. This is hot. Yeah. Okay, so that was wedding news. It went on for a bit longer than should have done, sorry. But yeah, so I've just touched on that then. So next bit of news, next week, the 7th, is my eldest's birthday. The age that they are, they're just a pain, aren't they? They don't know what they want. They don't want to do anything. They don't have any interests. Men don't. So he's just a pain. And then the day after that, the 8th, is my mum's birthday. So I need to get myself sorted because she's one of these people that I don't need anything.
We could take her out somewhere. She likes the cupcake shop.
We could do that. We could go for a nice little, go on a mobility scooter around the quarry and get an ice cream or something nice. But we will probably do something nice for her. So that's next week. Yesterday we went to the cinema, which is why I didn't stitch on my summer Pooh, my Winnie the Pooh Wednesday, because we went to see
Jurassic World Rebirth, I think it's called. I get confused.
It's the new Jurassic World. Yes, Jurassic Park was the start of the thing. There's about 7 of them now, I think, 7 or 8 films. But
I've watched like 3 and a bit because I didn't watch all of them. But I did like this one. It was quite like, well, you were just sat there like hiding.
I'm not very good with
jump scares.
Jump scares. I don't do Halloween films for that reason.
Yeah.
And even though I know something's going to happen, sometimes I get to turn my head, but then I'm a type of person. That's me all over.
But I liked it. It was cool.
It was a good film actually. It was. I want to go and watch the
different dinosaurs as well.
They did. One's like got a beluga, beluga whale head.
Not sure about that one.
But we do like the T-Rex. T-Rex is cool.
Do you want to show your cup?
Yeah, I got a cup. It was it was expensive. I actually did say. I don't know what she's saying because she's got one as well.
Only because Dad forced me. He was like, "Go get one, go get one."
They're not. They weren't cheap, but I've got a little cup, so I'm sat in there with my little Jurassic World colossal giants cup.
Everyone was looking at her like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, they were, but I don't actually care when people stare at me. I couldn't care less. So, and I got my little T-Rex on the top. And look at this, guys. This is the best part about this, right? It comes off. So I've actually got a little toy. So I've got a T-Rex.
I had a Spinosaurus.
And Lauren's got a Spinosaurus, which were heavily in this
yeah, they were a bit naughty, actually, with the Mosasaurus.
You do. The Mosasaurus you like, don't you? I'm more of a... I've got to say, I do like the T-Rex. I do. But I'm more of a... like a nice dinosaur. I'm more of a Brontosaurus and a Stegosaurus, you know, plant eaters, the nicer ones. Yeah. However, the T-Rex, you know, he's got to be one of my favourite, like, naughty ones. So we had fun with that. It was a good trip out, wasn't it? So we did that.
We didn't get home until about 11 or something.
Oh, we did walk there and back, so that was that.
So that's why I didn't do any stitching last night.
No.
But yeah.
So that was that. Lauren's got an update on her braces, just a quick update before my phone's battery goes off. But
so I went for my appointment. It did all go well. They said everything's going to plan. They've now put a spring here to push the two teeth out, and then they'll eventually put a bracket on this one that's hiding at the back, and then it will pull forward, and then I'll have.
So she found out what the plan is. So she's got a little spring on. So she doesn't like it, but I said she looks like a Slinky Dog.
Also,
from Toy Story.
She did say something was wrong with the back teeth, so I think they're gonna try to push that out a little bit as well. But I don't. Really
they have a plan, and Lauren's on a need-to-know basis. I think is what it boils down to. But yeah, it was super quick this time, wasn't it? So
I went for like a lavender colour, which I really like this colour. So yeah.
So she's a lavender Slinky Dog.
Yeah. And it didn't hurt again. Like I literally just almost fell asleep.
We're only in there probably about 10 minutes maximum, which is nice. Really.
And I had no rubbing. Well, I had the first time I got it on, because if you don't know, you get wax and you can put it on because sometimes the metal rubs your gums, and that was really bad. Like before this appointment, but I haven't had to put it on again now, so hopefully it stays like that. But yeah, so it was a bit sore as well to eat, like the first time I got tightened, but it's fine now, and I can bite into things again. So
you're all good now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. The only other thing.
Next time actually, I'm seeing the main person.
The main man, boss man.
God. Hopefully, I'll be good.
Hopefully, you'll be a good girl.
Yeah.
And yeah, if anybody has noticed, I have got glasses. I've been wearing glasses for a fair few years, but not only for doing my stitching or driving sometimes.
Or reading.
And I noticed my eye health was getting worse. And we haven't been for an extremely long time, so Lauren wanted to get checked out, didn't you, anyway? So we booked an appointment to go.
My eyes all
Lauren's all good.
Thank God.
My eye health is fine, but my eyes have deteriorated. So I've always been a bit awkward in life in general.
Yeah, correct.
But my eyes are no different because I have one long-sighted eye and one short-sighted eye. So therefore, my eyes are constantly fighting against each other to see. So when I'm stitching, when we stitch upstairs on my bed, and we have the telly on, when I'm stitching, so I'm looking down at my stitching, and when I look up to watch the TV in between when we're watching Flosstube or whatever, the eyes blur because the one eye is fighting against the other to bring the vision into central. And it's happening more often. Driving was becoming like that. I was not seeing far away because I was they were fighting against each other. So long story short, I'm now on glasses full time.
And yours is like purple and brown.
So I have varifocals, which I didn't think I would get on with, but actually I'm fine with. So basically, so that I don't have to have 2 pairs of glasses for long-sighted and short-sighted, they do both jobs.
You've got sunglasses as well.
I do have sunglasses. So it's working fine. When I first had them on, I was a bit like, oh God. But actually, by the end of that day, I don't notice.
No headaches or anything?
I don't have any issues. I've got a little bit, so varifocals sort of have this line of blurred here. So you have to turn your head rather than like look to the side. Because if I look to the side, I get a blurred bit. So it just means that I just look with my head rather than my eyes. But
yeah,
I'm fine. Everything's all good.
And you do suit them. I didn't think you would.
I had to take her with me, and I've, you know,
because you were picking out some questionable options.
She was like, no, Mum, you're not having that. No. And obviously having varifocals means you can't have like smaller lenses because you have to have that bit.
Oh yeah, you were going for like the granny glasses. I was like, no, not your age. You don't look like a granny. But I picked a very good choice. You know,
my daughter, she's so lovely to me.
Wow.
I mean, she is actually, because she could have let me wear the granny glasses. But apparently they suit me. So you will see me with these on more often, because now when I take them off, I notice that I don't have them on. So yeah, that is it. That is all of our stitching, our haul, our plans, our life update.
Our Flosstube.
Oh, yeah, that's everything. That's us.
God, it's been way more than an hour.
It has. I said to you the other day, didn't I? The way we're going at the moment with our stitching, we need to go down to like weekly Flosstubes, because the length of these Flosstubes is getting ridiculous, and it's every 2 weeks. Like, we need to, if we go down to weekly, we'll get it smashed out in half an hour, and everyone will be so happy. She doesn't look very pleased by that prospect. So we're probably still going to be doing 2 weekly, but we are going because
get my own way.
My storage is going to crash in a minute. I can see it happening. So yeah, we will see you hopefully in a couple of weeks' time. Hope you are all well, keeping cool. If you're in, you know, Australia, down south, we hope you're keeping warm, because it's the complete opposite for you guys.
Yeah, it's their winter, isn't it, in Australia?
Well, autumn coming into winter, isn't it? We're halfway through the year.
Oh, no.
Second half of the year. We're going towards autumn and winter. Before we know it, it'll be Christmas. I'll leave you on that. Happy stitching. Hope you have a great couple of weeks, everybody. And yeah, take care of yourselves. See you later. Bye.